We'll let somebody who has a brain, Lord knows we don't, try to make sense of this. You hear him on the television broadcast. You hear him along with Jason Ross every afternoon, Monday through Friday, sports permitting, 3 to 6 p.m. It is Doug Christie. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Don't do that. Don't be trying to find positives, man. Come on, buddy. Huh?
Listen.
What's up?
I didn't want to drag you into the mud with me. I mean,
we have to stop meeting like this, man. Why? You can't bring me on when there's something positive to talk about, man. Why, you ain't got no love for me, man. Is that what it is?
Can I tell you, Jay will actually back this up. This is on my kids. This is a true story.
Jay, you co-signing, Jay?
I got to hear what he says first.
Well, I'll pull out the phone. Jay texted me yesterday. And he said,
okay.
let me find
That's dangerous. That's dangerous in and of itself,
right?
Jay, but okay.
He said, Doug, tomorrow at 8:05. And by the way, thank you for coming on the day after a game. I know you're busy. I know you're we appreciate you coming on.
It's all good, man.
But he said, Doug coming on tomorrow at 8:05. I said, really? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. I mean, and the reason why is not because I don't enjoy talking to you. And Jay, that's a fact.
Full context, though, I want to say Doug wanted to come on and talk Mariners baseball. So everyone, we got 20 minutes of Mariners baseball with Doug coming up.
Hey, for a second, we were like we were in first place there. We were rolling at 500, 4-4, and then hey, listen. Oh, anyway, we can talk best fries in the business. Actually, this weekend I had some Five Guys fries. Those things are damn solid. I just want to say that.
Well, yeah, there's about 5 pounds of them when you get them. Too.
Yeah, well, I did go large too, and she kind of poured them all in the bag, and I just went, oh. God bless you.
Yeah, they don't skimp on the fries, dude.
No, they do not.
And the reason I reacted that way was not, oh God, Doug, of course not. It was I knew coming into today I was going to be toxic about this team, much as the fan base is, and I'm not trying to overreact over 2 games.
Yeah, you are.
Well,
it's okay though,
Doug. I think it was the third quarter. There was a ball going from your left to right, loose ball, top of the key. Outside the 3-point line. I think it was Aaron Gordon dove for the ball, and he was the only guy who dove, and I think they were up 30-something at the time.
Yeah, and you heard me say first one to the floor wins.
I did.
I listen, that was ugly. That was stank. I don't know what to say. It's hard for me to judge them based on this, but that's what we do. That was terrible in a lot of different regards, and you know me, one thing that I say many times is you can do a lot of different things. You can play bad, you can do stuff, but when it comes to effort like that, you got to put it all out there on the floor. It's just an absolute necessity. It's defensively they look lost, and in that particular game a bit uninterested. And that's sad. I know for a lot of Kings fans, for me as well, because I anticipated something totally different, and that's probably a bad thing in this COVID era, is trying to anticipate anything. Because we look at, I'm sure there are probably some New Orleans Pelicans fans who are saying something similar. They anticipated their team to come out. Dallas loses yesterday. Of all the teams that I would have thought would be playing well right now, San Antonio Spurs are not at the top of the list, but they seem to be rolling along. But looking at this Kings team, I would let me ask you guys a question. The last game that we saw them in, or we got ready to see them in, was the New Orleans Pelicans. Would you say that they were playing their best basketball at that point?
Yes. Unequivocally.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, where in the hell is that? And that's the problem, is because that's what I expect to see, and that's what I truly think that the Kings are. And unfortunately, they started the season off really slow, and they've come back, and it's been something similar. And that's just it's truly unfortunate.
You know, Doug, as a guy who doesn't spend any time in NBA locker rooms, myself being, and you spent obviously your whole career in them, one thing that really stuck out to me last night after seeing that effort was that we only had one guy speak to the media, and that was a 22-year-old kid by the name of Harry Giles, who, by the way, brought the effort the entire night.
Yes, he did.
Am I looking too much into that from a locker room standpoint, that he was the only one to speak to the media last night?
No, because you can be judgmental, but there's a couple of things. One is I kind of like it because that means that they're pissed off. Okay, so that's a good thing. You don't like it because there has to be a leader that steps up and take it. I'll give you an example of you guys. Game 7, after we lost to the Lakers, I walked straight from the floor to my car. I wasn't talking to anybody. I didn't even get my clothes. I don't even remember how I got my clothes. I was that depressed and upset. I couldn't even drive my car. So I totally get it when you're in the locker room, and I want you to be upset. Frankly, if you're not upset right now, you know what? Turn your jersey in and go get on a different team, because that's how you should feel. That's what this game is about. It's about passion. It's about aggression. The things that we unfortunately didn't see yesterday and that we all expected to see. And by them not speaking, I think that ultimately they must expect to see that of themselves and are pissed off that they didn't. And that's a good thing. I hope you're mad.
They're also smiling and shaking hands after the game. I understand sportsmanship, but that also, to me, when I see guys laughing after the game, after you just got your ass shown on TV and you effectively probably eliminated yourself from the playoffs, I'd rather hear about a guy who walked straight to his car after the game and shed a few tears. And I know I'm overreacting, but it's just, to me, it's a bad look. And then you leave the locker room and you're not answering the tough questions. That's fine. But it makes me question, Doug, either I see two choices here. Either this team isn't good or they don't have any heart. And I need you to tell me if is there a third choice?
I've already answered it for you, and Jay answered it, and you're going to answer it again. I think that the Kings are the team that we saw at the end of the season. I think that they went through some bumps. They started to find their way. They found a rhythm. They had trust in what Luke wanted. They started getting the offensive identity. Defensively, they were getting better and improving. And then this happens, and now we come back, and things are just all over the place. I mean, nobody played good. Rashawn Holmes isn't the Rashawn Holmes that we saw before the injury. De'Aaron, De'Aaron's been the best player,
right,
but he hasn't found a rhythm. Nemanja hasn't found a rhythm. Bogdan was up one game, and then the second game, not so much. So it's just, this has been, I can't explain what goes on in a COVID environment, because this is my first time being in one too, and I'm not in the damn bubble. But the point is, that's not the team that we saw at the end of this before COVID hit. They don't look the same.
Do you attribute a lot to that just guys being maybe young and immature and going into something like a bubble environment where you're away from family and you're away from the normalcy of your life? Maybe that's having an effect on young guys, because I'm like you, I'm searching for an answer here.
You know, Jay, I can't, to be honest, I can't quantify or qualify it, but like, that's not an excuse, man. You got to figure it out. Listen, everybody's in that environment. And there are people who are figuring it out, and right now we are not. Listen, you don't. When it comes to that side of the floor and getting after it, like, you can miss shots, you can screw up and throw the ball all over the place, but we're going to defensively have to have a better effort than that. I mean, that one play that Dave talked about, diving on the floor, that is kind of symbolic of what we saw yesterday. And this team, that player in that particular instance, wants it more than you, and that has to be unacceptable for each and every one of you guys.
So it's Doug Christie joins us. So we get into hyperbole, like hunger, desire. You talk about defense, and I'm with you. If you can't hit a shot, that's one thing. I get it. Everyone goes cold. You can get in a guy's face. You can get in your man's face. You can contest a shot. 44, 34, and 35 points they gave up in the quarters that mattered. 78 points at the half. I know we keep saying the same thing, Doug, that we don't know what the hell it is, but something happened. Something happened between the end of the quote-unquote regular season and this bubble, and I find myself asking, is it leadership? Is it players? Is it both? I don't know.
You know, the game is about rhythm, first and foremost. It is, and obviously the rhythm has been lost. It would be easy to jump to all of those conclusions had we not seen the improvement. So I'm going to say no. There was some trust. There was a lot of different good things that were going on, and all of a sudden those things are not happening. But when you talk about the defensive end, there has to be an aggressiveness, a grittiness, an IQ of understanding that, and I said this on the telecast, like, there are certain players on that team that I'm in Sacramento, and I identify that they are streaky. So on the defensive end, and I say a defender, but I could do everything on the court. But I'm thinking as a defender right now. So as a defender, I'm saying, okay, that guy doesn't get hot. That guy doesn't get hot if he shoots a shot. And now as a team, I have to, collectively, I'm talking to my teammates. I'm like, Vlade, Webb, if he comes off, he hits a shot next time, make sure that you touch him, make sure that he doesn't get the ball. We're going to trap him and make him get it out of his hands. That type of communication between the players, I don't see it. I don't know that it's not happening because I'm not there, and that's part that I hate. I always like to be close to the action, but the point is when you see Terrence Ross come off and he knocks down, when Terrence Ross knocks down one shot, that means he's hot. So hell with that. He doesn't catch the ball anymore. And if he does catch the ball, we're getting the ball out of his hands. It's similar to what we've seen with DeMar DeRozan. Then they ran the pick and roll and they isolated Nemanja. Well, it's not Nemanja's fault that he's not as fleet of foot as DeMar DeRozan. So as a teammate, I got to have your back. And now we need to figure this out, and we need to figure it out on the freaking fly, meaning that I'm coming. I'm double teaming. We're getting the ball out of his hands. And those are things that I thought towards when we stopped playing, we were seeing more of. And right now we're not.
Speaking with Doug Christie, Doug, the one thing about this bubble is, man, the Kings do have an opportunity to bounce back rather quickly because we got 8 games that we're trying to fit into basically 2 weeks. The Dallas Mavericks are, coming in, so to speak. If you're Coach Walton and you're trying to get these guys ready after a game like last night when you got a team like Dallas coming in who, like you said earlier, has kind of struggled a little bit in the bubble as well, what's kind of the message to the team right now?
Jay, there is no freaking message. Are you joking me? We just got the hell beat out of us. If you need some motivation right now, you are on the wrong team. Just frankly and point blank, there's you got to bring it, bro. We got to go. Let's. Now is the time. But with that being said, that's just the competitor in me. Attention to detail. IQ. What is happening? Who are there? Let's identify their players, and we'll just talk offensively because it's a prolific offensive team. We know what Luka Doncic brings, okay? He's a triple-double, damn near walking, and if you're not careful, he'll drop 40 on you, okay? That's who he is. Now we got to look around their team, Porzingis. They're a little bit more deadly when both of them are playing good basketball. So now you look around their team and you look at Curry and you look at Hardaway, and these are streaky players. So if they start knocking down shots, we got to make sure that we're there. Now, when I'm saying there, I mean on the catch. Make them do something different. Run them off the line. Make them put the ball on the floor. And that's just on the defensive end. Offensively, make these guys, all the guys that I just named, can you guys name a defender out of any of those guys? Did you hear a defender for Dallas Mavericks? No, you didn't. Okay, so let's make them play defense, which means that we don't need one pass possessions and 0 pass possessions. We need to move the basketball and help each other. And I'll be damned if you're not going to find a really good shot, because when you guys do that, you get assisted buckets. Assisted buckets are usually wide open buckets, and wide open buckets means we have good shooters and they will shoot a higher percentage. So I hope, Jay, that helped you out, my friend.
A little bit. I think I got your vibe.
Doug Christie with us. Doug, going back to you being having a player's mentality, let's just, hopefully they won't. But Dallas also coming off a rough loss to Phoenix. They're going to be pissed off too. Rick Carlisle is going to.
Damn right. They should be.
They should be. So let's say it doesn't go our way Tuesday. You're now 0-3 with 5 games left. You're you're already effectively out of the playoffs, but you're really effectively out of the playoffs now. You got guys like Harry Giles. You have guys like DeQuan Jeffries and a few others. If Luke and the organization decided to take those last 5 games and use them almost like as an extended tryout. Let's start experimenting with lineups. Let's play younger guys. Let's see who we're going to hold on to. Let's start focusing on next year. Now, as a player, if you're in that locker room, does that send the wrong message to you, or do you say, hey, I didn't get it done when I needed to get done, and I understand what they're doing?
Well, to be honest with you, it's a great question, Dave, because, I talked to Jason about this, and I'm sure you guys heard us talking because you guys listen to the show every day. I know you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I was talking about strategy. And I'm not sure of this, meaning that when you're going into this, what is your strategy? How long is the hook, the leash?
Yep.
What, like, I don't have time to be waiting around for, it's 8 games and it has to happen now. So, like, if you're not playing well, you got to get pulled. So I think that kind of goes out the window, Dave, is like with the exception of De'Aaron Fox, we haven't had anybody that's played particularly well. So, man, everybody needs to get out there. It's no young, old, whatever. Like, somebody step up. I need some rhythm. I need to see people play well. I need to be evaluating what we're doing going forward. So, DeQuan has played well.
Yep.
I mean, to be honest with you,
Yep.
hell with that, he's been one of our best players out there. I mean, the kid plays on the defensive end of the floor. He's been good on the offensive end of the floor. But this is, I said this going into this, is why this is so good for the Kings. And the one thing that I think Lucas stressed the most is understanding sense of urgency. And it's something that I don't understand why the Kings haven't figured that out. But this bubble situation and the playoffs in general, that's what it's all about. You make it to that point because you understand sense of urgency. You can't play your way into a game. You can't do those things. This isn't the middle of February on a dreary night down at Golden One and it's raining a little bit. This isn't that. So if you want those things, you have to hit the ground running. You have to pick up full court. Look at the teams that are winning, and those are the attributes that come with that. So I hope I answered your question, Dave. But no, everybody get out there. We not evaluating. I think we've seen what we need to see, but it ain't what we need to see. If that makes sense.
I think we need you in the. we need you in the bubble. Just to get in the
You trying to bubble me off?
I'm saying, listen,
you bubble me off.
You could take the equipment. I'll loan you the stuff they gave me. You can take the equipment, go do your show out there, get in the bubble, get in the locker room, and start kicking people.
Or put a jersey on.
Yeah, or put a jersey on and get in someone's face, Doug. Because I promise you right now, you put the Doug Christie jersey on, you get out there yesterday. I don't know if they get past you or not. I know you're not 19 years old anymore, but I can tell you this much: you're going to be in their face. They're going to know what kind of gum you're chewing.
Yeah, no doubt. You got 6 fouls, and for me, you guys, that's the most. I need to see a high level of competition and a grit and a willingness to get after it. And I purposely, and I'm not going to, because a lot of times it's the overreaction. But I just want my emotions to be what they are, and I know what I saw. But I didn't go back and look at the game, and normally I do, because most times, it's like, oh, it's not as bad as you thought, because that's just kind of reactionary. But that one, it needed to stick with me a little bit. I didn't like it. I hope they didn't like it. I hope Kings fans didn't like it, and Kings fans, they need more. And we were closer to where I thought that we would be when this season stopped. And that's what gives me so when I bring this all the way around, that's what gives me the good vibe is I know we got it. I know that they can do it. Why the hell they're not? That is what I don't know.
11:30 tomorrow morning, you'll hear Doug and Gary on the TV call. Of course, our very own Jason Ross on the radio call, who will be on with Doug today at 3 p.m. And I guarantee you they will have much more of breaking down of yesterday's, I was going to call it a contest, of yesterday's exhibition for the Orlando Magic.
So dirty you are, so dirty.
Appreciate
dirty
you.
boy.
My sister went to Pepperdine, you know that, so there's that, and there's always going to be that bond and all that fun stuff. Appreciate you coming up and talking about that, in which we maybe don't necessarily want to talk about today.
Hey man, it's part of the deal. You gotta accept the good with the bad. It's just been a lot of bad. 13 years?
Yeah. 13. The losing the play in a league where over half the teams make the playoffs. The streak, Doug, is a teenager and is 2.5 years away from getting its driver's license.
Okay, well, there's Uber nowadays, by the way,
true.
So maybe we don't need a driver's license. We just need the freaking playoffs. And yeah, I'm hoping for a better outcome. I agree with you. Tomorrow is going to be one hell of a game because the Dallas Mavericks are going to be out for blood. They lost a game against a team that I'm sure that they thought that they would beat in the Phoenix Suns. But Phoenix goes out there and figures out a way to get it done. So for the Kings, come out ready to go because Luka, Porzingis, and the like they're going to be ready to roll, man.
Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you on the crossover this afternoon, my man.
Oh, we got to do that, man. Get a good question, Dave. Nothing food related, okay? Come on.
No food.
Step your game up.
I'm sorry, food. This is a guy that started out with his wheelbarrow of fries, but that's fine. We'll switch it off.
Well, because I know you like your food.
Wow, wow.
What's your biggest comfort food, by the way? What's your biggest comfort food?
Doug, we don't have time for that.
I will tell you biscuits and gravy for breakfast, and give me some nice baby back ribs, some greens, and baked potato for dinner.
Yeah, your sleep is what you are.
Sorry, dude. Not everybody can roll around with the Whole Foods giant grapes. You know, it doesn't work for everyone.
I appreciate you guys, man. Have a great day.
All right, take care. That's Doug Christie.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show on Sports 1140 KHTK.